Where the hell is Joji? So I've been a huge Joji fan for the longest time, and I feel since that he's not that active in terms of social media, I feel like a lot of people are forgetting about him. And I'm definitely not the only one questioning this, because since he drops an album, has his tour, he just suddenly disappears and no one knows anything. The reason why it's so interesting is because of his early online presence of Filthy Frank and his YouTube channel. This wasn't just a YouTube channel where he was just talking in front of the camera, it was being a public nuisance.
Hamburger, please! What the fuck? Can I have a hamburger, please?
With all these different characters, it was a different time in the YouTube space. It was the very edgy content at the time with iDubbbz and the phase that PewDiePie went through. But these viral characters and skits resonated with his brand. And his transition into real music, obviously he was doing a lot of things through Filthy Frank, but this is a type of transition that we've never seen in music before. And this is where he adapted the Joji name through 88 Rising, having more of a lo-fi aesthetic to his music, which of course had the R&B elements to it as well, but it is crazy that a lot of people were finding Joji's music without even knowing his past being Filthy Frank. I think when Ballads 1 dropped, it actually shocked a lot of people with his potential in music. Of course, there were some people finding out about his music before Ballads 1, maybe it was Will He. But more than likely, if it wasn't that song, it was definitely the iconic Slow Dancing in the Dark. And yeah, like I said, this album has really become a staple in his career, and people really started to take him seriously after hearing this. Slow Dancing in the Dark would definitely be my favorite, but my other two favorites would be No Fun.
No mail, no phone, and I tell them I'm not on, and I keep to myself.
And Yeah Right.
We gon' party all night.
Surprisingly, I actually liked his 2020 album Nectar more. I felt it was more polished than Ballads 1, and it had more music. My top 3 would probably have to be Normal People.
You can pretend we're normal people, and I can repeat those times.
777.
Live fast, drive fast, like 200 on the dashboard. Ooh.
And one of my favorite Joji songs of all time, Mr. Hollywood.
She said, Mr. Hollywood, won't you come back soon?
Then his third album dropped, Smithereens, and we're starting to notice a routine of dropping an album every 2 years. 2018, 2020, and now 2022. Now Smithereens was great, but my favorite songs were the ones previewed before, besides Die For You, which yeah, my top 3 would be Die For You.
You're happy without me, and I hope it's true.
Glimpse of Us. And probably my favorite Joji song, Yukon Interlude.
Beating up on that all black demon, going west, I don't got no reasons.
And if I remember correctly, this album only had like 9 songs, and when it dropped, I was like, yeah, this is good, but like kind of sucks we gotta wait another 2 years now. And in that fact of it being so short, it was honestly disappointing for me just because the album wasn't that long compared to others. But yet again, it did have some of my favorite Joji songs ever from that. And when you think of him being in the public eye of the internet, he's not there. There's nothing on social media. He never posts anything. He's never in some drama. And it's just really interesting that beforehand of how much he actually was the center of attention on the internet because he was a YouTuber. I mean, it is true aura because really no one has any idea what is going on with this man. Once you get the album, you get the tour dates, and then he's not going to say another thing for 2 years. But with this happening, I think I always tend to forget about Joji. I mean, Joji's not one of those artists that I always casually listen to. He's more of someone that drops and I get into a huge Joji phase where I'll listen to him for a long time. But I think that rotation of listening to rappers and everything always being the spotlight, whenever there's something going on with the artist, it does kind of make you think and make you want to listen to some of their music. But with Joji not doing anything, it's pretty easy to forget about him. And with him having limited public appearances to almost none, it's made fans concerned about his well-being or if they're even getting music regardless, which fuels discussions online of what they think is going on with Joji. I mean, it's crazy to think because in 2022, a lot of Joji songs was trending on TikTok from Smithereens. I mean, Glimpse of Us was a huge song that even people that don't know who Joji is know about that song. But yet again, him not being active on social media has let a a lot of people to think that he's just perfecting his craft behind the scenes, allowing him to create without a bunch of distractions or pressure. We also just don't fucking know, and we're just all assuming this shit because no one has any idea what's going on with Joji. And I think a lot of people are also asking that because I'm seeing a bunch of Twitter threads of asking the same question. Where is Joji? Looking through Joji's career, I've always looked at his career as the happy ending of everything. Him going through YouTube and having all those characters and that toxic culture of the internet space during that time really affected his mental health a lot. And the fact that he is able to just sit around, not talk to anyone on the internet, and just do his thing is probably really good for him. But for diehard Joji fans, it definitely has that curiosity, but also a bit of a worry. Because even when an artist is not posting anything, there's always leaks of them making public appearances or some studio sessions or whatever it is. With Joji, we just know nothing. You would hope to think that he's working on a new album right now. Maybe he has a finished album, maybe he's finishing it up, but I'm definitely very curious to see what he does in the future because he is one of my favorite artists of all time. And mind you, I was a Joji fan before a Filthy Frank fan. I wasn't even a fan of his YouTube channel back in the day. I like his music. And as someone that is mostly a rap fan, there's a lot of music listeners that enjoy quality over quantity. I mean, if you think of artists like Bruno Mars or Billie Eilish, they barely have any music. But for me, I like a lot of music because I'm mostly a rap fan. And Joji's one of those artists that doesn't drop that much and doesn't even have that much music. You would be hoping for an announcement this year, but I guess we never know what's going to happen. But 2025, the 2-year wait, it's closing in on 3 years. You would think something would happen by now. But yeah, I definitely do think people are forgetting about Joji. But let me know what you think. I'll see you guys next week.